depth feels foreign. You've dodged so many questions that answering honestly feels vulnerable, and it is vulnerable. But vulnerability is the price of intimacy. See, you can't have connection without vulnerability. You can't have intimacy without risk. And you can't have a real marriage without actually letting her see you. Brother, your wife stopped asking you questions. She used to ask you how your day was. She used to ask you, what were you thinking? She used to even ask you if you okay, but she doesn't anymore. And you think it's peace. You think that she's finally giving you space. You think that she's respecting your boundaries, and you think that it's progress. But I'm here to tell you, my man, it's not. It's her giving up on you. So here's what's really, really happening. She didn't stop asking because she stopped caring. She stopped asking because you stopped answering. And every time she asked, you gave her nothing. You gave her like, I'm fine. I don't know. It's whatever. See, you dodged, you deflected, and you shut down. And eventually she learned that asking you questions is pointless. She learned that trying to connect with you is absolutely exhausting. And she learned that you don't actually want to be known. So she stopped trying. And now you're sitting there thinking that you finally have peace. But what you have isn't peace. It's distance. And distance in a marriage isn't rest, my man. It is death. Now, let me show you what's at the root of all this. You think avoiding hard conversations make you a good husband. You think that keeping things surface level protects your relationship. You think by not rocking the boat is leadership. It's not. It's abandonment. Because when you refuse to engage, you dodge her questions. When you keep everything locked up inside, you're not protecting her. You're abandoning her. You're leaving her alone in the marriage, and she feels it. She feels the wall that you built. She feels the distance that you've created. She feels the loneliness of being married to someone who won't let her in. And eventually, she stops trying to climb over the wall, not because she doesn't love you, but because she's exhausted from trying to reach someone who keeps pulling away. Now, let me show you what this looks like in the gospel. See, Jesus didn't avoid hard conversations. He actually stepped into them. See, when Peter denied him, Jesus confronted him. When the disciples argued about who was the greatest, Jesus corrected them. And when the woman at the well tried to deflect, Jesus pressed in. He didn't dodge. He didn't deflect. He didn't keep things surface level. He engaged. And when it was uncomfortable, even when it was uncomfortable, even when it was messy, even when it would be easier to let it slide, he engaged, because love doesn't avoid, love pursues. And that's what your wife needs from you. Not perfection, not all the answers, not a perfectly articulated response to every question. She needs you to engage, to actually answer when she knows what you're doing, to actually share what you're thinking, to actually let her in, because that's not what be- because that's what covenant looks like. Not two people living parallel lives under the same roof, but two people actually knowing each other. And you can't be known if you won't speak. So here's what happens when you start engaging again. First, I'm going to tell you it's going to feel awkward because you've been surface level so long that depth feels foreign. You've dodged so many questions that answering honestly feels vulnerable. And it is vulnerable. But vulnerability is the price of intimacy. See, you can't have connection without vulnerability. You can't have intimacy without risk. And you can't have a real marriage without actually letting her see you. Second, I'm going to tell you, because of your previous behavior, she's going to be skeptical. Because you shut her out so many times, she's learned not to trust your openness. So when you start answering her questions, when you start sharing what is actually going on, she's going to wonder if it's for real. And the only way to prove it's real is actually to keep on doing it. Not just once, not just when it's convenient, but consistently, day after day, question after question, conversation after conversation. You show up, you engage, you let her in, and eventually she'll start asking again. Not because you forced her to, but because you've proved that asking for her, it's actually worth it. So here's your challenge this week. The next time she asks you a question, actually answer it. Not with fine, not with I don't know, not with a deflection, with the truth. Honestly, I'm stressed about work and I don't know how to fix it. I've been feeling distant from you and I don't know why. I'm scared of failing as a dad. Whatever it is, my man, tell her. It won't be perfect. You'll probably stumble through it. You'll probably feel exposed, but you will have engaged. And engagement is what saves marriages. Not perfection, not having it all together, not ever struggling. Engagement. Showing up, speaking up, and letting her in. That's actually what she needs. And that's what you have been called to do as a husband. Not to have all the answers, but to actually engage with the question. So engage. Start tonight. When she asks you how your day was, tell her. Really tell her. And watch what happens when you stop dodging and start connection. Your marriage will come back to life, not because you became perfect, but because you came present. And if you're serious about this, and if you're tired of the distance and want real connection, there's brothers at the huddle who are doing the same work. Men who are learning to engage instead of avoid. Men who are choosing vulnerability over safety. See, you can find out more about that at maldenmitchell.com. This is Discipleship Decoded, because the gospel doesn't just save your soul, it saves your marriage. I'm Malden Mitchell, and I'll see you next time.